Breaking Free, a journey of generational healing and self-transformation. In the heart of a bustling city where skyscrapers pierced clouds and neon lights painted the night sky, Alex lived an ordinary life. His days were a blur of monotony: work, eat, sleep, repeat, a ceaseless cycle dictated by the lifeless glow of his alarm clock. The sirens sang him to sleep, and his once bright eyes faded, reflecting the dull, mechanical world he inhabited. At work, Alex was little more than another cog in the machine. Seated behind his desk under fluorescent lights, he drowned in a sea of beige walls, lost in the hum of keyboards and distant chatter. True color in his life was rare, a fleeting moment hidden in the splash of coffee on his rumpled shirt or the green solace of a lone tree outside his office window. To Alex, time had become a shapeless haze until one evening when a sudden rainstorm cracked the city's robotic rhythm. The storm didn't just wet the streets, it awakened something within Alex. For the first time in years, he observed the faces around him, human lives that pulsed with emotions rather than obscurity. A subtle shift began. Seeking refuge from the rain, Alex entered a dimly lit bookstore. The scent of old paper transported him to a space untouched by the chaos of his digital routine. As his gaze swept over the shelves, a title caught his attention. Asterisk, Breaking Free from Generational Curses, Raising Your Vibration. Somehow, the book called to him. The book opened Alex's eyes to a hidden reality. It revealed truths about the silent weights we carry, chains forged from the emotional scars and limiting beliefs of our ancestors. More than just a guide, it felt like a conversation with his soul, a reminder that he was not meant to merely endure, but to transcend. Anger mixed with exhilaration as Alex read about the unseen forces shaping thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. For a man who had long felt like a prisoner of routine, this was an awakening. Could it be true that he could rewrite his narrative? Could the patterns of fear and suffering born from generations finally end here, with him? Alex walked out into the rain, each droplet a metaphor for renewal. Determined to break the cycle, he resolved to start small. He no longer saw his past failures or ingrained habits as shameful burdens, but as opportunities to heal and grow. His first step? Decluttering his physical space, replacing stale remnants with symbols of life, energy, and growth. Plants filled corners once dominated by lifeless gadgets. Crystals reflected rainbows into the room, amplifying an energy he had long ignored. Another new practice was meditation. Sitting in stillness each morning, Alex focused on his breath, visualizing the dense fog of his ancestors' struggles dissipating. With time, the chains around his psyche loosened, and the spark of his own identity emerged from shadow. The lone tree outside his window, the green speck that once mocked him, now seemed like an ally. Its silent strength reminded Alex of how growth requires patience, how even the smallest saplings reach for the sky when nurtured with intention. As Alex stepped into this new version of himself, his transformation couldn't help but permeate the lives around him. Friends and colleagues noticed his renewed glow. "What's changed?" they often asked, though the subtleties of his transformation eluded them. Inspired, Alex started to share what he had learned, leaving copies of Asterisk, Breaking Free from Generational Curses Asterisk in the break room and subtly encouraging others to question the lives they led. At first, some laughed, dismissing the ideas as fanciful. But others, drawn to Alex's quiet confidence, began their own journeys. Colleagues discussed the patterns that shackled them, from inherited fears to habits they had never questioned. A community began to form, a grassroots awakening of like-minded individuals who saw beyond superficial routines and dared to dive deep. Through Alex's courage to transform, he became a key that unlocked dormant potential in strangers and friends alike. As weeks passed, Alex's quiet movement grew. He founded the Vibration Liftoff, weekly gatherings at a local community center where individuals could share their stories of transformation. Some had faced traumas that once felt insurmountable. Others were learning to let go of resentment, shame, and inherited pain. Alex's sanctuary extended beyond his gatherings. His apartment transformed into a high-vibration retreat filled with soft light, crystals, and greenery that welcomed his growing practice of mindfulness. It reflected the place his soul had finally reached, a space where possibility thrived. This sanctuary wasn't without its challenges. Resistance often reared its head from both external sources and old echoes within him. There were skeptics who ridiculed the movement he was building, calling it New Age nonsense. And yet every jab only deepened Alex's resolve. He now saw such challenges as reflections of fear, projections of the very cycles he was working to disrupt. Out of the blue, Alex received an email inviting him to a mountain retreat for practitioners of vibrational healing. Set against the backdrop of rugged peaks and unspoiled nature, the retreat offered solace and expansion. Here, Alex encountered profound healing, a release so deep it felt as though his soul had been reborn. The weight of his ancestors' struggles melted as he immersed himself in this collective wisdom. He left the retreat with a promise to return not just to share what he learned, but to push the limits of transformation even further. Returning home, Alex was a beacon. His elevated vibration wasn't just visible, it was felt. His colleagues marveled at his clarity. Slowly, even skeptics began to soften as his calm, reassuring presence drew them in. The once cold city now buzzed with life. Community gardens sprouted on neglected streets, public spaces overflowed with art and vibrant conversations. Alex also continued his gatherings, tailoring each meeting to address the unique challenges individuals faced in releasing inherited pain. For him, this was no longer just personal growth, it was collective transformation. Not all were ready for Alex's vision of change. Fearful whispers spread, and late one night he received an ominous note warning him to abandon his work. It reminded Alex that true change never comes without resistance. But this resistance only strengthened his resolve. Alex doubled down, inviting skepticism into his space with compassion. Transformation, he would say, is not about dismissing doubts, but about outgrowing them. Even within himself, old wounds occasionally surfaced. Yet with meditation and the support of his growing community, Alex found his center, replacing fear with grace, anger with love. Looking out at the city from his balcony, Alex saw the reflection of his efforts everywhere. The people were no longer cogs in a wheel, but individuals rediscovering deeper truths about themselves. The once static streets now pulsed with vibrant energy and collaboration. The tree outside his window stood triumphant, its branches taller and fuller, almost as if it celebrated alongside him. It whispered a truth Alex now understood. The path to breaking free wasn't just about self-improvement, but about planting seeds for a generational shift. Alex's journey continues, as does his commitment to inspire others to question invisible rules and create lives aligned with purpose. His story is a testament to the ripple effect that personal transformation can have on the world. To you, the reader, it poses a gentle yet profound question. What chains bind you, and what seeds will you plant today that could grow into forests of freedom tomorrow?